Welcome to the BBC.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Between Both Cheeks. I feel like it has been a hot minute. I can't even remember the last time we recorded. I'm sure it was just the other day, but it doesn't feel like that. We are coming off a very big show, one of the biggest shows for us in Las Vegas. And I got Aaron and Becca on here with me today. And we're going to talk about some scandalous things.
Yes,
Scandal.
they are.
It's a scandal all across the beauty industry, I feel like.
Yep.
Yeah, in more ways than one. If you guys don't know, you're not up to date. We're talking about holding companies accountable and how to do your own research when you are looking on creating a new product for your brand, and why it is so important and how it can get you into some serious trouble if you just take the word of mouth off of other people in Facebook groups and things like that who may not have done their own research, or industry influencers and things like that, because it can really come and bite you in the butt.
So I think this goes actually, when you're speaking on like bringing on a brand, but I think it's when you're working with a company too. It's not just a brand. And when we say it's all across the beauty industry, it's truly all across the beauty industry. I mean, it's product, it's vendors, it's the companies that you work with on a day-to-day that don't actually have goods, but they provide service. Like it's everywhere,
It's trade shows. It's the whole kit and caboodle.
It's everything. Where do we even begin?
Well, I guess I'll start with one of the if you've been to one of our classes, one of the things besides keeping you guys hostage for the full hour, because we don't do any in and outs for those of you that have not been to our classes. But one of the things that I talk about right at the beginning of the class is there's a reason to making you stay for the entire presentation. And that is because I always say this is a partnership between us and them as the customer, the consumer, that they have too many choices today and that they owe it to themselves before they pull out their credit card or their hard-earned money to give to a brand to buy product. They owe it to themselves to understand what that brand is about. Who is the owner? What is the brand? Who's the face behind the brand? What are the ingredients? Where is it made? The list goes on and on. They have too many choices, and they owe that to themselves as professionals before giving their money to someone on, this is what's going to sit on my shelf. This is what's going to be put onto my client, and this is what I'm going to recommend that my client take home. That's a massive responsibility. And what do you truly know about that product that sits on the shelf, or that product that you're putting, like, what do you know? What homework have you done? If you cannot give a brand an hour for them to tell you who they are and their backstory and how it came to be, you're doing yourself a disservice as a professional in this industry. That's my thought.
And if the owner or employees use it themselves.
Amen.
I know a man in a warehouse who doesn't have a bleached asshole, I'll tell you that.
It's
Just
true.
saying.
It's very true. Do they actually use the one thing that I love, and I think we need to do a video of eventually, is to take a video in all the hotel rooms of all of like the team that comes to work the show, because there is Bright on everyone's bathroom counter.
There are face-off wipes neatly folded in a little baggie in my travel thing. And I tell people at the shows all the time, I'm like, I was never going to be that person. And I was like, now I won't let one of those rough towels touch my face. You don't know whose butt they've touched. I love them. But yeah, I mean, so when we're speaking of services, yes, there's all this, we all know what's going on, all the drama we've been hearing, and we try to do our best and be extremely transparent with what we do and who we are, and we try to spread that message. Our professionals who use our products have that knowledge and can share it with their clients. So when we're speaking on the product end, when we flip over to the services end, we were talking about it this morning, and we were talking about it, just a couple days ago. We work with these companies, and they, tell us that we have to pay all this money in order to do this, that, and the other. And they try to tell us that it's going to be bigger and better. And then we're met with letdown because we're promised all these things, and it's not there. So at what point, do we decide that we need to hold them accountable because they're not fulfilling their end of the bargain? Right. So Luca was talking just a couple of days ago, like, let's set up a meeting. Like, I'm fucking sick of this. Like, here we are paying all this money to do these things. And, while we're doing, our part.
And I think the
We're
industry
away.
needs to be very aware of, like, I call it big, fake, and shiny. Like, it looks really, like, the marketing is really great, and it looks like, such a huge company, and there's major influencers that are backing these lines or these companies. So it must be good. But the amount of estheticians that I have spoken to that are like, I didn't really do any research. Like, I just bought it, and now I'm out all of this money. Like, that is a major disservice to your business and your personal brand and your own integrity. What are you doing? And companies that want to hide behind stuff and not be forward. I mean, we can go back to talk about, the lawsuit. That was something that I really struggled with. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there because it is public record. I have no shame in what happened. I'm the one who can sleep, rest my head at night and look myself in the mirror in the morning. But that can also be taken very differently if it's something that we decided to hide, right? Everything's public record in the United States of America. Like, look it up. And I think it goes back to like, who is there representing the brand? Are they on a commission? These are questions that you can ask at a show. Like, what is your, affiliation to the brand? Are you on a commission? Is the owner here? What's the owner's background? What else have they been a part of? What's their experience in the industry? Or are you just paying an influencer or, a trade show company for some big, loud advertisement?
Yeah.
What's that? What's Beccaism? Emptiest barrels make the most noise.
Yeah. I was thinking about that when you said big and shiny.
Big, fake, and shiny.
I was like, emptiest barrels make the loudest noise.
Yeah, I have a phrase I say, it's the emptiest barrels make the loudest noise. Like, if you think of a big oil barrel and you push down a hill, the one that's full of liquid and oil is going to be muffled, absorbing the sound waves, but an empty one is going to be like, so as Luba says, the big, fake, and shiny. I always think anytime I see something online, and I'm constantly online, like posting, say their spouse, and it's always has this big long paragraph and all these accolades, and now and then is fine, but if it's all the time, that usually means those are the people with the biggest relationships that they have to prove how strong they are. And that's the same with skincare influencers. Like, there's one in particular who I have seen in real life do some very, very, very heinous and unprofessional things. And online, she is not that person at all. And it is a stark difference. And with this that's happening in the industry right now, obviously we're not naming names, but as Luba said, with how Bright has been transparent with us again, and even on the things that maybe we have not wanted to share because they're not so beautiful, what you need to do is an actionable item. Take the CEO, the owner's name, the legal company name if you can find it, and put it into a search engine, especially if you're in the US. It's much easier in the US than other. If you're in the US, which most of you are, you can look on a federal website for lawsuits, put their name in there and see what comes up, because just that small, simple action that would have taken you 2 minutes could have saved you hundreds of dollars now, because you would have known who this person is. And yes, maybe it was in the past. And yes, people make mistakes. And yes, we all have things we regret. But something as big as this that went on in the past for as many years as it has, that shows you someone's character. And character is not something that you change overnight with, one session of therapy. So that is something you need to do. Put them into the lawsuit public records and see. And if you don't understand all the legal jargon, great. ChatGPT exists now. Copy and paste it into there, and it will put it in its terms. Then what you need to do is you need to go on their website and attend any educational events they have. Most places do webinars nowadays. If you're at a trade show, you need to attend one of their classes. You need to look at their booth from an outsider perspective before or after you speak to a representative and watch the team dynamic. Watch how they present themselves to the outer world. Watch how they interact with their guests. Are they only nice and bubbly when they're speaking to someone, and then as soon as someone walks away, they're sitting down and they're rolling their eyes or they're talking shit with their coworker? You need to look at these things because we are not spending $20. We are spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars when you're on the hunt for products to carry in your brand. And then you're putting it on someone's skin, which is the second largest organ in the body. And you need to make sure you know exactly what you are doing, because at the end of the day, all of these people that bought this other company's products, it's their license that's jeopardized. The company will be unaffected. They might have some bad PR for a while. In a year, we'll all forget about it unless there's a class action lawsuit again. So you need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence, because it's not them that gets in trouble. It's you. It's always the little guy that feels the crunch the most. And if this is your only business and your only livelihood to support your family, you want to make sure that that license never gets taken.
And well, there, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell Becca's our FBI friend.
Yeah.
Yes, if you ever need help, you can always message and I'll see what I can do.
She's the FBI friend. But hey, it pays to have one of those because, whoever you found this specific thing that was, going on in the industry, which, everybody is talking about, and there's lots of buzz and chatter going on, it's public record. Mm-hmm. And somebody was, doing their, like Becca said, their due diligence and, looking into a product that they were considering bringing on and, doing their research because they wanted to know what they were going to use as a professional on their clients. And then they came across and they're like, well, goddamn, holy shit, this is not okay.
Right. And I think another thing, too, Becca, to what you said is like, listen, we've all made mistakes. We all have regrets.
Yeah.
But how this company, I guess I can say, persons within the company had decided to respond truly shows character, zero remorse for what they did, and will continue to do it.
Just straight up denial and like anger.
We work in the beauty industry, which is absolutely disgustingly ugly behind the scenes. On the inside, it is a gross business.
It can be. We're trying to change that.
Yes, we're trying to make the change with that.
One asshole at a time.
One asshole at a time. I had several people come to me at the Vegas show, vendors as well as professionals in the industry, that have literally said, like, we can see the difference that you are making to change this industry, and thank you.
So special. Not to toot our own horn, but toot toot.
Toot toot.
Toot.
We will stand alone.
Yeah. And you can sit with us, though.
Yes.
I mean, all these cryptic, anybody who listens
hopefully
to this, like, everybody is going to pick up on it. I mean, they're going to.
It's the biggest thing in the industry right now. It's insane.
It's insane. I mean, on the product side, yeah, absolutely.
I'd be looking for a new career. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, if I was that company, God, you're right. I just feel like at the end of the day, like what we're truly trying, as we were discussing what we're going to chat about, on this podcast, it's just holding people accountable, doing your research and holding people accountable. Whether you are talking about, the product or me, because I'm on the operations side, I really stress like the people that you work with. People can say what, like Becca or Luba says, the big and shiny. It's all bullshit half the time. So, do your research and hold people accountable. Becca was saying earlier, we are the customer in this scenario, so don't be afraid to be the squeaky wheel and say, hey, what the fuck, man? You're supposed to provide this service. Like, we're paying you.
So with that,
sometimes.
ask for the MSDS forms. Ask for, if they're making scientific health claims, ask for the clinical studies. And then don't just get the studies from the company. You need to go onto scholar.google.com, which again is all public record and it's free. Type in the name of the company or the chemical or the technology that this, a skincare company is peddling you, for lack of a better word, and look at third-party double-blind studies. Those are the words you need to look for. Double-blind means that nobody was incentivized to, think a certain way, because you can have in-house studies that these companies do where they're paying someone to say, yes, it's fine. It's like when you see a commercial on TV and it says 9 out of 10 dentists approve. They're paying for those 9 dentists to say, yes, this is great. So that's something else, especially, not so much with Bright, but these medical aesthetics brands that are making, health claims and are more invasive procedures and are going into the deeper layers of the skin. It's like, that is when you really, truly need to do actual scientific research, because that is when you can harm someone. More than just like the emotional side of things. And it's not hard to do. If you don't, again, ChatGPT is a good resource. You can ask it how to look up and how to read and understand studies. And you can even copy and paste and say, put this into layman's terms, and it will spit it out. Digestible or translate it into your home language if you speak another language. So that can be a challenge as well. But it's really, really important to do, because it has caused a lot of people a lot of headache that didn't need to. And don't just trust these big influencers because they're just doing it out of the goodness of their heart. That is false. That is false.
Yeah,
As Taylor Swift says in one of her songs, she has a lyric that says, nothing stronger than a paywall. And if that'll tell you what you need to know. And doing your own research, like I've given specific actionable examples, that is not posting on one of the esthetician Facebook groups and asking people's opinions. That's a great place to start to see what's out there and what your options are. But, as our mothers told us all when we were 12 years old, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Just because everybody seems to be taking on this new big fake and shiny thing and it's exciting, you need to then take an hour, 2 hours out of your day to just go deep and really look at those examples that I gave you, like especially with the medical aesthetics, because it's easy to find information if it's medical because it has to have a study attached to it. Another good thing to look for is to see where else that product is being sold in the world. Because I'm speaking to, the United States, which I know most of our audience is from. The FDA is not what you think it is. You need to look, is this product sold in Canada? That's very easy to find because it's geographically close to us. Is this product sold in Australia? Is this product sold in the European Union, which is the EU, the countries are part of the EU? In that order, because that is how it increases. And then you need to look at not only is it being sold there, because this other product was, but does the packaging, what's it look like? What are the training materials like? Like, go on their other countries' websites and education, and if you can, get in contact with that community on that side of the world as well, because while you can ask ChatGPT about the FDA, she'll explain it to you a bit better about what it means.
And just to add something onto this, if you've ever had a rep or a company tell you that, like, oh, there's just a mistake on the label, please. I don't even know, like, I'm speechless on that. Like, I've got absolutely no words. Like, why a product is different than what the label says is a massive red flag. So stop painting them green.
Absolutely. It takes, from our experience, it takes a lot of time and testing and money and design work. There are a lot of steps that go into labeling a product and how long it takes. So for it to have an error so large, that was not unintentional, allegedly. So these are some things that Bright does that you can put your test in. We have free weekly webinars. Every week, some of them are even on demand. You can watch them at your convenience when you have time. Start there. See if you like our vibe, our personality. Go to a trade show. Watch how our team interacts with each other. Ask them what their affiliation is with the company. And, blah, bing, if they're getting a commission. Ask our team questions, like really hard questions, and try to throw them a curveball and see how they react. Do they get defensive? Do they try to make you feel dumb? Do they move the conversation in a different direction? Do they admit when they don't know something? That is another big flag as well. Then what
Do they
else
know the ingredients?
Do they know the ingredients? Do they know what, ingredients mean? Then
Where can they
something
access
else
the
we have-
ingredients?
Yes, are the ingredients on the label of the product? That is something that is required in these other countries that I spoke about earlier. Another thing we have is on our website, brightenup.com, we have a page called Quick Facts. I'll put it in the show notes. You can see a list of every single ingredient in every single product, but we don't just list the name of the ingredient, like the science name. We list, like in layman's terms, what it is, why it's in the product, and what it does. We'll even list the percentage of acids, right down to like 0.001. We don't have to claim that, but we do because we know that eventually, these things come out, and it's better to just be totally honest, and we have nothing to hide. So check out that page. It's also on every product page as well. It will have its ingredients and like actually what they are and what it's for, so you can totally understand what you're using. And then we also have MSDS forms if you need those as well for professional products. So, and just think, obviously Bright has been in a lawsuit in the past. Did we want to share that? No. Does it make the company look good? No. But we shared it and we explained exactly what it was and why it was going on. And then you could see that, like, although your initial reaction to a lawsuit is like, worrisome, is that we gave you all the information and you could see that we had nothing to be ashamed of about that lawsuit, and we were not in the wrong with the claims that they had, and it got thrown out of court. So,
and most importantly, it was nothing to do with the product, the safety of it, the quality of it, the efficacy of it, none of that.
Yeah. So, just think, if we're telling you all that, that means that we value your intelligence and we respect you as individuals, and that we know that honesty is the best policy. Even if we don't want to talk about it, we have to, because it's the right thing.
Tell me who you are, don't tell me who you are.
Mic drop.
On that note, thank you so much for joining us. Till next week. See you guys in Long Beach for those professionals out there.
Yeah. See you then.
Stay cool if you're in the desert. Ugh. Drink your water. Chat.
And wear your sunscreen.
Oh, lots of it.